Blake Lively requested an extension to file her amended complaint, and she asked for an additional 2.5 weeks.
This case has just gotten more and more complicated. The stories and ensuing other filings have happened in the week.
Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, they co-starred in the movie It Ends With Us, and wow, it definitely did not end with them.
We have a big update from Justin Baldoni's camp. His lawyer responds to Blake Lively's request.
The legal battle between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has just taken another shocking turn as new allegations from a crew member have surfaced, adding even more complexity to an already messy situation. And with the deadline for Blake's amended lawsuit fast approaching, tensions are reaching a boiling point. Blake has been given an extra day to file her amended lawsuit, but what exactly does that mean? Is she buying time to strategize, or is she scrambling to protect herself from even more damaging claims? Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni's legal team is not backing down, and they've reportedly obtained even more damning text messages that could prove Blake's defamation campaign against him.
This case has just gotten more and more complicated. The stories and ensuing other filings have happened in the weeks since this initially came out. First of all, for those who aren't tapped into how this initially started, can you talk about Blake Lively and that initial lawsuit that she filed against her It Ends With Us co-star?
Yes, Christina, I'll start with the procedural timeline and then we can get into some of the specifics. So the first thing that happened was Blake Lively filed a complaint with the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing. That's California's equivalent of the EEOC. So they're the ones that investigate and handle complaints when they relate to California state law as opposed to federal law. And this is really a precursor for filing a lawsuit.
The clock is ticking, and with more evidence surfacing every day, it's clear that this battle is far from over. Blake Lively's legal team has successfully pushed for an extra day to submit their amended lawsuit. But the real question is, why does she need more time? If her case against Baldoni was strong, she wouldn't need to stall. The fact that she's delaying raises eyebrows and suggests that she might not have the evidence she needs.
Blake Lively requested an extension to file her amended complaint, and she asked for an additional 2.5 weeks. So originally it was supposed to be filed this Friday, the 14th, and then she asked for an extension until March 5th. And you want to see what's in that letter, make sure to check out this video. We also saw a letter from Baldoni's attorney with a little bit of pushback, but ultimately agreeing to the extension. And you can make sure to check that out here as well. But I just checked the docket and there was another day extension. So this is just going to be a really quick update, but I wanted to share it with you because I thought this was really interesting. It's like there's so many moving parts in this case. So what it says is that the order was originally to extend to March 5th, and the original order by the judge. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And what do you think that this means for her, for Baldoni? Is Baldoni continuing to win this, PR battle? Let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear them. And if you like this video, if you learned something new, please hit the thumbs up. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you do. Cover tips and strategies to help you grow your visibility. And I also cover publicity, reputation management, brand management from a PR and publicist perspective. And make sure to watch this video where I break down what was in the letter that Blake Lively filed asking for that original extension. All right, everyone, have a blessed day. Bye for now.
In a surprising move, Blake and Ryan's legal team have demanded that Baldoni produce more receipts to back up his claims. This suggests that they are scrambling to find holes in Baldoni's accusations, but it also makes them look desperate. If they were confident in their position, why would they be so focused on discrediting evidence rather than proving their innocence?
Blake Lively is challenging Justin Baldoni to get their receipts, bringing in AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon. Is this gonna actually happen? And what happened to all those concrete receipts you already had? We got attorney Greg Dahl here, and we're gonna break it all down. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor. We are live. I'm here with It's Kim in the background, and so honored to have Greg Dahlia, attorney at law. Welcome to the show. How you doing, man?
Good. I was just saying, it was great to meet you, and I've been a big fan of your podcast since the Depp Heard days, so it's really an honor to be on here.
Thank you for the kind words. We found Greg, we talked a little bit before in the live, but we found him through, I think it was Hollywood Reporter. You had some really good insight on this case as they were looking for lawyer advice. Melcher is here. We love Melcher, but he's busy today. We'll get him back, but I don't want him to think we're cheating on him. But we know the audience loves it, but honor to have you here as well, and thank you for stepping in.
As Blake fights to control the narrative, some are questioning whether this lawsuit is more about saving her reputation than seeking justice. With her public persona now under heavy scrutiny, there is speculation that she is more concerned about optics than the actual legal battle. If her brand collapses, it won't just be her reputation at risk, it could impact her entire Hollywood career.
It looks like Blake Lively's team has asked for an extension to file the amended complaint that she has in the lawsuit against Justin Baldoni et al. So let's dive in and learn more about what's in this motion to extend the deadline and what other details we can find from this document that was filed. Hi everyone, Alexandra here. I'm a visibility strategist, communications expert, and I was a publicist for many years. And I love covering stories like this in the media and some implications, do's and don'ts on image, reputation, all of those things. And I'm really interested in this case for many, many, many reasons. And so I'm hoping to help break down some of this and see some implications again from a PR publicist perspective. Let's dive in and read this document together. You know, this is, people are reading between the lines, speculating, you know, how is this going to help them? Is this going to hurt them? Again, if we look at it very neutrally, of course, everyone always asks for extension of time and all that. So, you know, being very neutral about it, completely within their right to do so, or at least to ask for the extension of time. But what does that mean? People, again, speculating, reading between the lines. What does this actually mean? Is this going to hurt their image? Are people going to think that they don't have anything valid to add to their claims? You know, because they've had it they could have done this, you know, a lot faster. They could have done it sooner. So it's quite interesting to see and just to think about why they might potentially be doing this. What do you think? Is this helping them? Is this hurting them? Does it not matter at all?
Adding to her legal troubles, Blake is now being sued for defamation by a crisis PR firm. This new lawsuit suggests that her attempts to control the narrative may have backfired. If a PR firm feels the need to take legal action against her, then she may have been actively trying to manipulate the media behind the scenes.
She would have expected this PR firm, after they've been mentioned in a legal complaint, to then turn around and file their own complaint or defamation lawsuit.
Not necessarily, for a couple reasons. One, what's in a legal complaint is protected by the litigation privilege. You can't necessarily sue for that. But this case has gotten so much attention that I'm not surprised we're seeing lawsuits filed in multiple states. Now we have New York, we have California, and we have Texas, because all eyes are on this. And I think maybe Lively and her team, her publicist, maybe even her husband, Ryan Reynolds, I think they underestimated Justin Baldoni's resolve, and maybe they thought that by filing this complaint and the New York Times publishing the story, it would really send him a message and he would back off. But he's done the opposite. He's dug in his heels, and him and his lawyer, Brian Friedman, they've actually done a pretty masterful job that she was not comfortable with. And they also provided a voicemail message that Baldoni sent to Lively, a voice recording. And it was a long voice recording. Everyone can listen to it. It lasts several minutes, where Baldoni's really apologizing to Lively for his actions. And I think that was important for a couple of reasons.
Justin Baldoni's team has now revealed new text messages that allegedly prove Blake Lively engaged in defamation against him. This could be a game changer in the case. If these texts contain clear evidence of wrongdoing, Blake's legal team will have an extremely difficult time defending her.
Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, they co-starred in the movie It Ends With Us, and wow, it definitely did not end with them. It has continued to be a problem. It has been a problem that has exploded into lawsuits. It started with Blake Lively filing with the Civil Rights Department in California, and then filing a federal lawsuit in the Southern District of New York. And it went from there to Justin Baldoni doing a countersuit against Blake Lively. And it's not just Blake, and it's not just Justin. They've added lots of people into the mix. In fact, one of the cases one of the videos I'm going to be doing next is going to talk about the way this whole case started, and you will be shocked. It is not what you think. It may not even be between Baldoni and Blake Lively. Strangely enough, there is a lot more involved.
Another major blow for Blake came when the judge ruled against her on a key issue. This ruling further proves that the court is not siding with her tactics, and it raises even more questions about the strength of her case. With so many losses piling up, can she really turn this around?
Also, they asked the judge, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, seek clarification from the court. The deadline for any motion to dismiss is March 20th. Or alternatively, move to extend the deadline for the time to file any motion to dismiss to March 20th. Ms. Lively respectfully submits that an extension for filing an amended complaint as a matter of course to March 5th is warranted. I'm summarizing because it's a long letter. Well, guess what? Justin Baldoni's attorneys also submitted a letter to the court late yesterday. I've got that too. We talked about him last week. He is suing Blake Lively, you know, the social media expert guy. Baseless attacks on non-party Jed Wallace and the litigation pending against Miss Lively in the United States District Court for the Western District of Texas. Wait, let's go back and look at her letter for a minute. I did not initially read this, but according to the Woody Allen apologist's letter to the judge, quote, the modest extension which they're requesting.
Baldoni's legal team is fighting back aggressively, with a lawyer absolutely tearing into Blake's team in a letter to the judge. This letter reportedly exposes major flaws in Blake's legal strategy, and if the judge agrees, it could be devastating for her case.
We have a big update from Justin Baldoni's camp. His lawyer responds to Blake Lively's request to get an extension. Now, the judge has denied Blake Lively's full extension. She wanted like 3+ weeks. The judge says, I'll give you a couple extra days. But Justin Baldoni's lawyer, power attorney Brian Friedman, said, where was the love for me when my home burnt down? It gets personal. What is he talking about? He brings up the California wildfires, the devastating wildfires, one of the biggest natural disasters in our country's history, as an example that Blake Lively's side, for no reason at all, decided against, accepting his extension. And I believe, I could be wrong, but word on the street is they sent him a cease and desist while the wildfires were happening.
In a surprising move, a voice memo from Baldoni to Blake has surfaced, where he allegedly discusses their on-set chemistry. Some are questioning the timing of this leak, wondering if it was meant to expose contradictions in Blake's narrative. Could it be that Baldoni's team is revealing key evidence piece by piece to keep Blake on the defensive?
Hey, Blake. It is 2 a.m. Hopefully this does not wake you up. Whew. Wow. There's so much I want to say to you, and I hope that we can FaceTime or see each other in person soon and get to talk more. But I'm just going to send you a few thoughts, and hopefully it's not going to be more than a few minutes. But that I don't have the best track record. I don't think either one of us have the best track record for our voice memos. I want to start with an apology. Man, reading the second part of your message, my heart sank. Spending time together, and I think that's going to really go a long way for our chemistry, which I believe is there and has been there from the start. So I was so damn excited when you wanted to do this film. I felt it in the room when we met, and I think it does come from the both of us being so fucking hardworking and having a vision and not settling And I'm excited to have a creative partner in that with you. And it's just really exciting. There's so much more to say. There's so much I want to say.
In another twist, Blake is now accusing journalist Fla of being involved in a smear campaign against her, allegedly orchestrated by Baldoni. But if these accusations were true, why is there no solid evidence? Instead, this looks like another attempt to shift blame rather than taking accountability.
Congrats on your little bump. And a lot of comments like, oh, mean girl behavior, this is terrible. It was a storm of negative comments.
Norwegian entertainment reporter Kirsty Flaw titled that YouTube clip, "The Blake Lively interview that made me want to quit my job."
Did you guys love wearing those kind of clothes that you...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And working in digital...
Everyone wants to talk about the clothes, but I wonder if they would ask the men about the clothes.
I would.
It actually happened back in 2016 when Flaw sat down with Lively and her co-star Parker Posey for Woody Allen's Cafe Society. This clip had never seen the light of day before, but Flaw posted it on social media the day after It Ends With Us opened in theaters. So why did she post it 8 years later?
I didn't really like the movie that much, and they reminded me...
A major question being asked is, if Blake Lively had legitimate concerns about Baldoni, why didn't she take them to SAG? If she truly had a case against him, wouldn't the Screen Actors Guild have been the appropriate place to address it? This raises serious doubts about whether her claims are genuine or simply a legal strategy.
I can't think of one non-nefarious reason as to why she would have excluded them from this whole thing. There is one organization that has no purpose but to advocate for you in situations exactly like this one. Lively herself claims that on May 26, 2023, she went to Sony saying that she wanted to file an HR complaint. In her complaint, she states that Wayfarer lacked any process to respond to complaints about leadership. And Sony was like, girl, we're the distributor. If you're having a problem on set, you got to go to the studio. The studio being Wayfarer. I got to see those communications because I doubt that's where their recommendations ended. In fact, they have a zero tolerance policy for this exact thing. Per their website, they provide many methods of reporting. They even have this thing called SAG Safe Space, a tool that allows you to document and archive instances of sexual harassment that you've experienced or witnessed. And most importantly, you can even do it anonymously if you prefer. And if this man in the studio continues to be trifling after you sick your union reps on them, look at all of this indisputable, beautiful documentation you've acquired, which you can then use when you sue the shit out of them.
Blake Lively is facing mounting legal troubles, with new allegations surfacing, her case against Baldoni falling apart, and even more lawsuits being filed against her. The new crew member allegations are adding fuel to an already raging fire. And with Baldoni's team preparing to release more evidence, the pressure on Blake is higher than ever.
We write in response to yesterday's letter from counsel for Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, the Lively parties, which requests extension of their deadlines to amend their complaint and to file a motion to dismiss the Wayfarer party's amended complaint. Notwithstanding the Lively party's inexplicable refusal to consent to a similar extension requested by the Wayfarer parties, in the throes of the Los Angeles wildfires, the Wayfarer parties have no objection to the extension sought by the Lively parties. However, if the court extends the Lively parties' deadline to amend their complaint to March 5th, the Wayfarer parties respectfully request that the court extend the Wayfarer parties' deadline to respond thereto to April 16th. So essentially they're saying, look, no, give her the extension, but we would like one in return, and you know what? Let's let this party keep playing out. And while he doesn't personally mention this story behind the throes of the wildfires,
with judges ruling against her, leaked messages proving defamation, and her attempts to stall being shut down, it's clear that Blake's case is in serious trouble. The real question now is, how much more damage will come out before this case is finally over?